Hi, I'm Lorraine. Welcome to the District Yoga. In today's myofascial release practice, we're going to focus in on the feet, the calves, and the hamstrings. So definitely great for runners or anybody who's feeling any tension in those areas. We are going to need a couple props today, so if you have a block, grab it. We will need it for the calves. And then 2 myofascial balls are what we're going to be utilizing. If you don't have myofascial balls, tennis balls work great. Lacrosse balls also work, but it might be a little bit too intense depending on your practice of myofascial release. If you'd like, you can also have a blanket to put on top of the balls or the block if you ever need. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing we'll focus in on are the feet. We're just going to need 1 ball for this. We're going to go ahead and stand up wherever you are. Place one of those balls onto the mat. And I'm going to go ahead and face the side so you can see. We're just going to roll really. I'll show you the center line, the length of that foot. And then we're going to try the sides, the left and the right. So find that ball underneath the right foot. And then just bring it to the center, really kind of the center widthwise and lengthwise to start. Just press into the ball. Just start to feel the type of pressure that you might want. Some people like it lighter, some people like it a little bit more intense. So you decide. It's definitely an experiential practice, and you might change from day to day, so and even side to side. So just notice. And we're going to just go ahead and take that ball in the center of that line and go ahead and roll it towards the heel. Then bring it back towards the front and roll it back. So just finding this nice rolling motion front to back. Might take a little coordination if you're not used to this practice. But we're just trying to hydrate the tissues in the feet and really the connective tissues of the body. So you can think of our fascia as really this one big sheath that covers our whole body from head to toe. And so as you can imagine, this sheath really impacts anything we do. It might not only be our feet, but our head, our back, our front body. Take a couple moments there, and then we're going to bring it to the left side or the inside big toe edge of your foot. So I'll go ahead and face you there. And then just again, taking it from front to back, as fast or as slow as feels right for you. Maybe finding any nooks and crannies that feel a little tense, or it feels like that nice deep pressure, almost like a deep tissue massage. You never want it to feel any sense of screaming at you or sharp pains, though. We want to stay away from the bones and the nerves. Last couple here on this side. And then we'll go ahead and take it to the outer edge. I have fairly flat feet, so my outer edge is a little bit harder than the other 2. So I'm going to take mine a little bit slower, but find your pace. Just rolling from front to back. Again, finding the balance. Last few moments here. That pinky toe edge. Beautiful. And then we're going to do some cross fibering of the tissues of the fascia here. So we're going to take the ball back into the middle of our foot, and then we're just going to go side to side this time. You can move up and down the foot side to side, or you can stay in one place, whatever feels best. I'm going to stay here. I got a nice little spot. Last couple moments. So really we're just doing this for anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. So a nice cross fibering of those tissues. And all we're really trying to do is wake up and bring some more fluid and rehydration to those tissues, the connective tissues, the fascia. That really helps support our whole body. All right, last one for this side. We're going to go ahead and just place the ball again. If you lose your ball, catch it. Place it in the center, both lengthwise and widthwise of your foot. And then just stay here. Maybe lean forward and add a little bit of pressure. Add the pressure that feels best for you. Maybe leaning back and forth if that feels right. Allowing the toes just to hang over that ball. Last couple breaths. Beautiful. And then we're going to switch to the opposite end. So we're going to take the toes forward. So the toes come onto the mat, and we're going to place the ball just above that heel. So again, this might feel different. For some of us, we feel it very intensely. Some of us might not feel anything at all. It's different, again, for different people, also different days. Just take a couple moments. If you don't feel anything, just notice the breath. Again, it's never any need for all of that sensation. In fact, sometimes when you focus in on a place and it doesn't necessarily have sensation, doesn't necessarily mean you're not doing anything there. Take your last inhale. Exhale. All right, we're going to go ahead and release that ball, and then I just want you to come to standing. Close the eyes. Just take some time to notice. Notice if one side feels different than the other. Maybe the toes feel like they're more spread apart on one side than the other. Maybe you feel more sensation on the bottom of one foot. Maybe even aware of any shifts in any other places of the body. Our connective tissue, again, is connected from head to toe, so we could be working on one area, but it could impact another. Last inhale. Exhale that out. We'll go ahead and switch sides. So find that ball, and then again, we're going to place it lengthwise and widthwise at the center. Go ahead and take a couple moments. You can take a couple breaths just staying still. And then when you're ready, we're going to start in the center, and we're just going to roll from front to back. Finding, again, a place that feels good, a pace as well that feels right. Again, if you're new to myofascial release, just getting used to balancing on one leg and using the ball on the other. You could slow it down if you feel a pocket that you might need to touch a little bit more. Last couple in the center. Beautiful inhale. Okay, we're going to take it to the inside or the big toe edge of the foot. And then again, we're just going to start from the top and roll all the way back towards the heel, bringing the ball forward and just coming back again. Going as fast or as slow as feels right for you. If you feel like it's really too intense, though, again, stay away or back off. Or go slower and just try to work out that area a little bit. Last couple moments on this side. And then we'll switch to the pinky toe edge. So find your way, again, starting from the top and then slowly rolling on that pinky toe edge. Again, this edge might feel a little more challenging for some. Definitely is for mine. Again, a pace and movement that feels best for your feet. A pressure. Again, use your breath. Trying not to clench, especially in that other left leg. Last couple moments. All right. And then from here, we're going to come back to the middle, lengthen widthwise. And then the heel is on the floor. We're just going to rock side to side. Again, you could move up and rock side to side. You could find that place or that space that felt right. We're just kind of cross-fibering those tissues, rehydrating, saying hello. Last couple breaths. Beautiful. And then once you're ready, we're just going to stay in one place. So again, finding the center width and lengthwise, and then just staying with the heel on the mat. You could point and flex the toes and see if that helps any. Might make it too intense though, so notice what feels best in your body. Last couple breaths. And really just letting this practice come to you. Again, it's really an experiential practice. You'll notice that days definitely shift. Let's go and switch to the back. So right about that arch, a little bit behind the arch, but before the heel, the toes come down onto the mat. Again, you might notice maybe it doesn't have as much sensation as the front did, or maybe it has more. Just use your breath. Beautiful. From here, take an inhale. Exhale that out. Slowly move the ball off to the side, and again, just coming to a nice stand here. Dropping the arms by the side body, little mountain pose. Just notice. Taking the time to be aware. Maybe now both sides have some sense of symmetry. Maybe you feel some sense of circulation in certain areas. Just noticing. Take an inhale. Exhale that out. We're going to make our way down onto our mats. And for this next one, we're going to move into the calves. So for this one, we're going to do one calf at a time. We're going to bring the block with us. And then again, grab whichever ball you're using. And we're going to get into the calves. So for some of us, this is a super sensitive area. We're going to place it a little bit below the actual ridge line of that calf. So just underneath, we're going to bring the block to its medium height, or actually its lowest height, excuse me. And then we're just going to place, so you want to be a little bit of a ways. You don't want to be too close to your block. You want to be a little bit of a ways so that you could place the ball. And I'm actually going to turn the block lengthwise with my calf. So find a place, and right away you might start to notice anything that comes up. Just stay here. You can bring the hands behind you, fingertips face forward or outward if that feels better. And then we're just going to start by pointing and flexing the toes. So just point the toes, flex the toes, point. And you might feel this right away. If it's too much and you need a little bit more padding, you could always bring a blanket on top. Not too much. You might just want to play with how much you bring on top of it, but you could bring the blanket on top of the ball so that it gives it a little bit less intensity, just softens or pads that area. I don't actually need the blanket, so I'm going to move that back. And then again, we're just pointing and flexing. Let's say about 5 more breaths. If you ever feel any sharp sensations, move off an inch or 2 or a centimeter so that you're not on any bone or any nerves, or pat it up. All right, take one more inhale. Flex through the toe. And then the next one, we're gonna roll the length of the muscle. So we're gonna roll with the calf muscle. So we're gonna really kind of start from where we were and roll in the direction. You might come to the outside of the calf, you might come to the inside of the calf. Just find something that feels right. We might use a little bit of strength in the arms as we bring the feet, the hands behind us. Bend through the left knee. And then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna scoot a little bit more forward towards my block, and then I'm just gonna start to roll forward and back on that calf. Whew. You might start to feel it right away. You might need to adjust. If you want a little bit more, again, this is where you might use your arms a little bit. We're gonna maybe lift the hips, and that just adds maybe a little bit more easeful gliding. And again, you might already feel this. You might go to the edge of the calf. You might stay in one place. If lifting the body up is too much, you could always place the hips back down and just roll as feels best for you. Last 5. Don't want to roll up too far, so if the ball gets up too far, bring it back down. Beautiful. Take an inhale. If you have the hips lifted, set them down. One last one on this side. We're just going to bring that back to a spot that maybe feels a little bit tender, or that we might want to touch into a little bit more. We're just going to stay. So the hands can stay behind you. And then again, we're just going to stay. I want you to just notice. And if you want a little bit more, there is a technique that you can utilize. You can try to contract the muscle over the ball. So really kind of squeezing it over the ball. Again, you don't want anything too sharp or intense. And then as you breathe out, just let that contraction relax. Maybe contracting again. As you breathe out, letting it relax. You could just stay there and that could be enough. Last couple breaths. Beautiful. Before we switch sides, we're going to move the block and the ball off to one side. And we're going to come onto our backs. We're just going to take a couple moments again to notice. So coming in onto your back, extending the legs out long, arms down the side body. Maybe noticing the sensations from one side versus the other. Maybe one side feels a little bit more warmth, a little more circulation. Maybe even one side, the toes turn out more than the other. Just notice. It could be subtle. One more breath in. Breath out. Slowly coming back up. Grabbing, again, that ball and your block. We're going to switch sides. So again, I'm going to bring the block lengthwise with my calf. I'm going to try to reach for that area just underneath the cupping of your calf. So find the ball there, place it on the block, bring the hands behind you. Again, if you're too close to your block, scoot back. And then again, the first one we'll do is just the pointing and flexing of the toes. So you decide. You could start to point. You could start to flex. Just breathe, always using our breath. Maybe this side feels different than the other already. Last couple here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and roll with the length of the muscle. So again, we're gonna really start where you were, and we're probably gonna roll mostly on the outer edge, but again, it's different for everybody, what feels better for you. If that's too intense, find a place that's just enough. And then again, you could just roll by moving the hips kind of side to side to find the length of that calf. Or if you're okay with the upper body doing a little bit of work, place a bend through that right knee, plant the foot, and then start to roll back and forth. Again, maybe coming to the outer edge of the calf, maybe down the center. If you get up too high, always have the ability to readjust. Feeling, that fascia. Again, starting to just rehydrate the tissues. Sometimes our muscles tend to just get tight, and oftentimes that's can be a challenge for different movements or different things that we might be doing when our muscles are starting to almost like Velcro together. So myofascial release practice is really nice for that, to loosen them up, to bring them back towards their healthy state. Last couple breaths. Beautiful. Then we're just going to find a spot that, maybe was calling out to you when you did that. And we're just going to stay. So again, the hands can be turned out to the side or forward. And just find a spot. If you need to adjust it, you can. Again, never too tense or too sharp. Always breathing. The last couple breaths. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Oh, I didn't mention, if you wanted to contract and release, you can. Just do that a couple times if you did it on the other side. Contracting, releasing, contracting, releasing. One more inhale. Exhale, we'll move the block and that ball off to the side. Come onto your back. Again, just notice maybe both feet fall out. Maybe you feel this sense of length through the legs. Just bringing the awareness to the shifts in the tissues and even the rehydration, the fluids coming back in to the fascia. Notice that sensation if you feel it. One inhale. Stay as you breathe out. All right, we're going to make our way to our last muscle, our hamstrings, which for most of us, they are tight. So in this practice, I'm going to show you where we're going to place them. We're going to bring them alongside just underneath the sits bones. So find that bullseye right underneath the sits bones. Really kind of right there, just underneath those sits bones. And we're going to come into, let's turn this way for you, almost like a wide-legged seat. We're going to bring them, both balls at the same time underneath the sits bones. So I'm going to bring them right under. And again, our feet aren't super wide. They're just probably wider than your hips. And again, the hands are probably behind you. You could walk up a little bit more. If you don't feel this, you could have a little bend through the knees. Just let the feet fall out naturally as they would. And then just give yourself a couple breaths. Some of us might feel this very intensely right away. And then we're going to add to this a little bit. So just go ahead and start to knock the feet towards each other and then knock them out. So I'm just swinging my feet in and out and in and out. Again, at a pace that feels good for my body and for my hamstrings. I don't want anything too intense, right? Just breathe. Again, if it's too intense, you could always walk back a little further. For 5. For 4. Last 3. All right, and then if you want, you can just sway the hips side to side, just get that last little touch. And then from here, we're going to move the balls up about a third of the way. So they're probably going to come to about halfway, the halfway point at that hamstring. So find the balls there. And then again, find the hands behind you. If you feel like you don't feel this, because as we move forward, we're going to move forward once more. You might want to lean a little bit forward, but again, finding your own degree. And then again, take a couple breaths just still. Allowing yourself to relax into the balls. If you need to adjust the balls at any point, absolutely. And then again, knocking the feet or windshield wipering the feet towards each other and then away from each other. And then just finding that movement. You could go fast, you could go slow. Again, it's a very experiential practice, so what I feel is likely, if not 98%, not what you feel at all. If you want to try to add the hips, you can. When you move it forward, it's not as, I don't want to say effective, but intense as it is when it's closer to those sits bones. Last couple breaths. I didn't mention, if these were all also too much, you could absolutely put a blanket over the balls and try to coordinate the movement there. We're going to do one more, just moving a little bit more forward. Take an inhale. Exhale. Just moving about a third more forward. So about here, definitely not close to the back of the knee joint. Moving those forward. And then again, if you don't really feel it because we're moving down the hamstring, it's going to get less intense. And if you want to add a little bit more intensity, you could start to lean forward, maybe even bringing the arms onto the knees or onto the thighs. And then just take a couple moments, taking a couple breaths. Finding where you're going to land. And we're going to just do that same type of movement, knocking the feet towards each other and then knocking them away from each other when you're ready. Just find a couple moments, a couple breaths. Again, just touching in today to the legs, really, all the way from the feet to the calves, working our way up to the hamstrings. The last few. If you want to stay, you can. Again, if you want to wiggle the hips, you can. 3, 2, and 1. Take an inhale. Release the balls out from under you, and then come onto your back one last time. Again, just notice, bringing that awareness to our lower body, to the sensations we might be feeling. Maybe any warmth that created. Maybe even being aware if anything shifted in any other place in your body. Sometimes, different areas can impact others that might not seem related. I will go ahead and leave you. If you'd like to take a Shavasana, you can. Otherwise, thank you for sharing your energy with me today. Namaste.